Welcoming guys into where I review every single NFL recap review, whatever. Where I review every single NFL season. If you've been on this channel a while, you understand that every year I come on the channel this time of year where I talk about every single team's season, give my thoughts on the season and where I think they can improve. So, as I started the last couple of times I've been doing this, I start off with my team, in the NFC North, the Detroit Lions, and you could let's go back to the 2023 season. Obviously we had a great 2023. We got to our first championship game in decades, and we lost in the championship game. We lost the championship game. We come back in 2024. Again, we still have Ben Johnson as our offensive coordinator. We still have Aaron Glenn, so we didn't lose anybody on the coaching staff so far. Like we still had, we still had our core. Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's still there. Aaron Glenn, our defensive side of the ball, was still there, and we had Ben Johnson on the offensive side of the ball. Anyway, so we started off the regular season with we're at home to the Rams. And again, us and the Rams have a bit of history. We traded a number of years ago. We traded Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff had a trade a number of years ago, where Stafford won a Super Bowl and Jared Goff gave it to us. We beat the Rams 25 to 20, 26 to 20 in overtime to get the job done. It was a 1 yard rushing touchdown from Montgomery to get a touchdown and to make it 25-26 where they lost the conversion. Then we go to week 2, which we faced the Bucks last year, the 2023 season against them in the playoffs. We beat them, so we're doing pretty well here. We're 2-0. Fast forward here, we beat the Cardinals and Seahawks. Again, we lost the Seahawks in 2023. We beat them on week 4. Fast forward a bit, and then also we destroyed the Cowboys. That was fantastic because again, fuck the Cowboys. That was just period. Again, America's team, the Cowboys, haven't done shit in over 3 decades. We beat those guys 52 to we beat those guys 52 to 10 or whatever it was. And then our first loss of the season, it comes down against I'm just looking at my laptop. I guess also got it on my laptop. First loss of the season. We actually lost our second game of the season to the Bucks, which was 16 to 20 at Ford Field. After that, and then after that, we go on a 4-2 record. So not bad. After week 5, we have a 4-2 record. After that, we beat Dallas 47-9. Then Minnesota, which is a tough. They had a really good season themselves. Then we beat the Cheeseheads. Fuck the Cheeseheads. We beat them twice this year. We beat, and then we had to face the Bears on prime time. Absolutely a dumpster fire. We beat them on the Thanksgiving game. And then we lose to the Bills again. I know people say, "Oh, we went 15-2," but you look at this, and a couple of times in those games, like defensively, a lot of Jared Goff was getting exposed in some of those games in the trenches, and that's really one thing we have to address. I'll talk about that later on. But offensively, and Ben Johnson, how he sets up, especially with Director Montgomery and James Williamson, Laporta. Just great stuff going on. But let's talk about really the stats of these. So, we got 50 million in cap space. So again, we got some cap space to work with. Not much, but we got some cap space to work with. What do we need? Like I said, edge. Especially we need to work on that defense side of the ball because we got to 15-2. We got 15-2 first time we got to 15-2, and we shit the bed with fucking not investing on the defense side of the ball. I think in the offseason, I know we got a couple of cornerbacks and stuff like that. We really need to work on the trenches, especially our offensive line. and we need a couple of starters. I know we got Sewell and a couple of those guys, but especially we need to work on that. But edge because um, Aiden Hutchinson, who's our best defensive player, he had 56 sacks last season. 56 sacks, 19 tackles, fantastic, and he went down with a big injury. We also traded Carlton Davis III from the Bucks. He got a jaw injury midway through the season. So again, we need an edge. We need a defensive line. We need another cornerback. Then we need to really again probably around in the we need to look at an interior linebacker, linebacker, wide receiver. We need especially some wide receiver, especially more covered wide receiver, linebacker, and offensive tackle. So and again, we're not gonna get all that in the draft, but we need to get at least some of that in the draft. Again, I have a couple of people I want to see come for us to get in the draft, and we'll talk about that in a few weeks. But again, Jared Goff, passing this season, he had 4,625 yards. We was third in passing. Points for, we was first. Points against, we was seventh again. Seventh in the league, not bad, but again, we should improve on that. Rushing yard was 6 out of 32. And then we lost, like I said, lost to the Bills in the playoff. We lost to the Bills in regular season. We lose to the Commanders. We lose to the Commanders in the playoffs. Just the in-game management, again, you could see that game against the Commanders. Jared Goff was getting, it was just the defensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball where you know, we was really had a lot of injuries. Again, that's not an excuse, but we didn't really address that side of the ball, which we should have done. And especially in the offensive line, Jared Goff was gaining about 5 or 6 turnovers in that game, which should have been addressed in the offseason, the offensive line, but we didn't really do our best on that. We didn't really address it. I don't think as better as we should have. But Amos St. Brown had 1,263 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had went over 1,912 yards. So again, it wasn't a bad season with 15-2. It's the first time that there's only the second time in the last 14 years that a team that's gone 50-2 has never won a Super Bowl. The Packers did that in 2011, won 15-2 that year. Didn't win the Super Bowl that year. You had and also us this year. We didn't even get to the Super Bowl this year. So a lot of stuff going on, and I think again, big losses after the season. Ultimately, was going to happen anyway. Ben Johnson going to Bears football, and Aaron Glenn getting himself a head coaching job for the Jets, going back to his home roots of the Jets, which is good for him. I'm glad he's got a head coach job. Glad for Ben Johnson to get a head coach job. But it's down in business now. 2024 season's way behind us now, and that NFC North is heating up, man. The NFC North's going to heat up. Dan Campbell, Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. You're going to have Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, and that's going to be interesting pairing how they work together. Depends on what happens in Chicago. Then you have Kevin O'Connell, who's just signed a new deal. Him and hopefully JJ McCarthy is fit and healthy and he can play next season. But yeah, the NFC North's really heating up, and I'm glad to see. Again, for the longest time it's been the Packers. The Bears have had their moments for many years ago. We've come back and gone back to back with the NFC North Championship the last couple of years and really done well in the playoffs. But again, our goal next year has to be a Super Bowl. We have to reach Super Bowl next year. It's now or never to get to a Super Bowl in the Dan Campbell's watch.